Hi, this is Charity from CAD Dimensions with this week's tech tip. In this week's tech tip, I'm going to be showing you how to select all files when transitioning. To give you an example of what I mean, I'm just going to select this assembly right here, and I'm going to transition it. Now, as you can see, it only checked one box. It only checked the assembly that I had chosen to transition, but I want to transition everything in this list. Now, I could just go down and manually check all these checkboxes, but if you have an assembly with 100 parts, you don't want to have to do that. So there are multiple ways of doing this. Now, I'm going to first show you two ways to do it that does not require admin permissions. And they're just very quick and dirty ways to make this process go by a little bit faster. So the first way is inside of this window, you can use Control-A, and that will highlight all of the files all the way down. And all you need to do is find a box that has not yet been checked and check it. And this will check all of the boxes all the way down. So the other way of doing this without admin permissions is, and this does depend on how your folder structure is set up. If you know all the files inside of a folder are what you want to select, then you can use this very quick way. Otherwise, this might not be the best way for you. But if you are inside of a folder that you know all of these files are what you want to transition or check out, then you can also use Control-A inside of the vault. And right-click, transition. Notice how they're all highlighted. And this will also select all of the files all the way down the list. Now, if you want this to be all of the time, you never want to have to worry about it again, and you don't want to have to use Control-A on your keyboard, then I suggest talking with your PDM admin, and they can give you a permission inside of the admin tool. Now, this is one of the rare permissions that I say you might want to consider putting on the user only. Different people work different ways, so you might want to consider putting this on user-only permissions. If you guys want to talk about it and you decide, oh yeah, this is something the entire group wants, that's fine, but just keep that in mind. So I'm going to put it on the user-only. I'm going to use the admin user as an example. So you're just going to double-click on the username or the group name, depending on what you decide to do. And then click Settings here. Reference Dialog. And it's actually these two settings right here. So select child references during state change, and select references that are defined as drawing nodes during the state change. So let's go ahead and check both of these. And OK, and OK. And go back inside the vault. Always remember to refresh after changing permissions. And now I'm going to do the same thing that I did in the beginning. I'm just going to right-click this assembly, and I want to change state. And it checks them all out. No Control-A, no manual checking. It just does it automatically. So, okay, that's great. You might be wondering, well, what do these two settings actually do for me, right? So this one's selecting all child references to that top assembly file or subassembly file that you chose. Now, if I were to uncheck this one and leave this one checked, it would only grab the drawing associated with the assembly. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like. So if you only wanted this assembly and its drawing, right? So I'm going to change state, and you can see that that's exactly what it did. So you can see that it grabbed the assembly and the drawing, both associated with each other, only these top two checks, because that's the only thing that was selected. And now I've shown you multiple ways of how to select multiple files at once while transitioning. This is Charity with CAD Dimensions, and this has been this week's tech tip.